Hello everybody, my name is Nina, and today I wanted to make a video about some fragrance reviews with the brand Moments by Kair, which is a small indie brand that I have been really loving. They have really unique scent profiles, and I find myself reaching for them a lot and getting really excited about all their new drops. But a lot of times I find there's not a lot of reviews on YouTube or TikTok. They're kind of starting to pick up, but there's not a lot, so I thought I would make one today. And I have my order here and a bunch of other orders. As you can see, I'm fully stocked, so I could probably make a bunch of these reviews if you guys end up liking this. And yeah, I wanted to get into what I got today, all my little goodies, and tell you a little bit more about the fragrances themselves. So let's get started. So I thought it would be fun to start off with my layering combo of the day and what I wore to work. So what I ended up wearing was Gucci Flora Gorgeous Gardenia with Juicy Couture Oui, and then all on top of that I had Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I think I also layered some of the Seven Virtues, that new strawberry one that's kind of like Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I don't know why I can't think of it. I literally put it on today, had it in my own hands, but I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But yeah, this combo was a winner. So I thought I'd start off with the one I was most excited to receive, and I actually got two of these, but it is the new fragrance from the Moments Reserve line, and it's called Dream of Me. And reading the notes, it is a mix of whipped vanilla, marshmallow accord, sugared peach, cotton candy, and soft powdered notes. And I am a sucker for peach. Peach is my favorite. Peaches and cream, juicy peach, pie peach, peach pie. Love it all. So I was very, very, very excited about this. And yeah, so I got two. I would also, before I do that, we'll show you the packaging it comes in. So this is my second one. It comes in a beautiful fancy box compared to the other ones, which are normally wrapped in the bubble wrap, which this was also wrapped in bubble wrap. But it opens from the bottom and you get just like a super premium luxury experience. And it just looks so luxurious. And I was really excited about that as well. And the difference between these and the other fragrances that they have is this is part of the raw fragrances line, which is fragrances made of raw materials which aren't made from just like standard oils. I believe they're made from like actually naturally extracting the fragrances in some way. Like say for example, you're trying to make vanilla bean, you have it sitting in some type of like extractor oil or marinating in some type of oil to actually get that natural vanilla bean smell, versus just getting like a vanilla bean oil and kind of putting all these kinds of things together, from what I understand. So that's the difference between these and the other fragrances that they have on their site. But yes, getting back to actually smelling this, I am super excited to smell this. As I mentioned, peach is like my favorite, so I'm just gonna like go ham and just spray it all over myself. But yeah, I just got these in the mail today and I'm very excited. So right away, I definitely get a very light, creamy marshmallow, creamy, powdery cream, and just a little bit of that candied peach coming through. It's very pleasant, very light and airy. And I do know they said that this will get stronger with time as, you know, everything comes back together after traveling. But I do think if you like a nice airy, peachy, creamy marshmallow scent, this will be nice. It's not, as it stands right now, too harsh, too juicy, too in your face. It's very elegant and ethereal. I feel like that's going to be the vibe that kind of comes together. And I'm very, very, very excited. So next I'll go into Poetry and Peach, which is their version of the Kayali Eden Sweet Peach, which I have both. And full disclosure, I did open these maybe a couple hours ago because I was very excited, and I live in Hawaii, so I've already waited for this order for, you know, the processing time, as well as like an additional week and a half to like 2 weeks shipping, because my mail has to go over cargo ship to get here because it can't fly with alcohol on the plane with the quantities. So I've already been waiting, so I'm very excited. Anyway, I do feel that they got this I would say personally, I feel like they got this 1-to-1. I will say I feel like this one dries down, maybe fades away a little faster. So I do feel that if the oak moss patchouli base comes out really strong for you and lingers on your skin, because I know for the Kaili one, it's good because it's one of their stronger ones, at least to me. But I feel like that oak mossy base really comes through and it lingers a lot and it gives me a headache. So I feel if you liked that fragrance that kind of opens and you kind of like this fragrance, but you feel like maybe it was too strong and also gave you a headache, I feel like theirs would be really good because when I spray it down, it's not as like potent and in your face. It's very subtle in the base, whereas this one I feel like really screams it. Next, I'm going to talk about Blue Hawaiian, and labeling is very fun. Mine got a little scratched up. Shakes around the box. Like I mentioned my last minute or so, it has to go over ship, so it's been rattling around. I don't know what to say about that. It's not their fault. But the notes on this are cherry, orange, and lemon in the opening, plum, pineapple, acai berry, sea spray in the mid, and vanilla rum and coconut and ozonic notes in the base. And I feel like maybe reading that you get it's very fruity, which it is, but to me something about this translates to like the blue and yellow gummy worms, specifically those ones. Don't know if they're even any different in flavor. I think they are, but it just smells really juicy and fruity, and almost, it doesn't smell sugary, that's not what I'll say, but something about that in my scent memory translates to a sugary, I won't say sour gummy worm because it's not sour, but it just puts that idea in my mind. Oh, and that's like the funnest part about this fragrance for me, is that kind of like transportation back to like being a kid and eating all the like the whole pack of gummy worms. And this one I also did get in the shower butter, which is the foaming body butter compared to their shower scrubs, which have a mild exfoliant, which is also not super aggressive. So if you're thinking about maybe getting one of those, it's still very nice, and it still has a nice lather, but it's not too aggressive in the exfoliation. So, but yes, I also felt like this would be a great shower butter because it's nice and juicy, nice and fruity, and kind of playful. Next, I am going to talk about the Pear and Petals, which is their version of the Kaili Eden sweet pear or juicy pear. I don't know, that wasn't one of my favorites when it came out. I was super excited about the peach, so I don't have the original to test. But I am often really intrigued by, say, maybe fragrances I'm not normally drawn to, or that I know I'm not a fan of in like the OG formula, because MBK has what I call a little bit of MBK magic razzle dazzle, that somehow I find a lot of times fragrances that I don't normally like the DNA for, like Cirque du Soleil, don't hate me, I'm sorry, or Hufflepuff, also sorry. I find that I have a lot of inspirations that they've mixed with other things that I actually really enjoy. This one, I will say earlier, I did not smell, test, whatever, because I kind of had a feeling I was gonna try to make a like little review video, and I was like, you know what, I'll wait, I'll have some first impressions on camera, but some, like the what's it called, the peach one and the other peach one, I just couldn't wait. So anyway, sorry for rambling. I'm kind of nervous. I don't make videos often, so sorry. And I keep touching my hair, but I'm going to smell this on skin. Ooh. Oh yeah, and let me read the notes for this. See, you can tell I don't do this because I don't know what I'm doing. But in the opening you have pear, mandarin, and bergamot, which I'm getting a lot of the pear, which I feel like translates to a really juicy but kind of muted scent to me in terms of like pear, how I perceive pear, not like how the pear comes across in this fragrance. The bergamot's not super bright, and the mandarin's not super bright and juicy. It's not like syrupy, sweet, juicy. Kind of clean in the opening. You can really smell, and in the mid you can really smell the freesia, gardenia. There's coconut water, lily of the valley, which definitely comes through. And vanilla, caviar, cashmere wood, and sandalwood in the base. Overall, this is really good. This one smells like, I feel like rich and classy, clean and subtle. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. But I really like that. Normally, I'm also not really a pear girl, so I'm very pleased with this. They also have another fragrance. I have my sample up here. It's Pear Pressure. That one is more of a juicy pear, but still clean. It dries down like, I'd say clean girl, like you could wear it to the gym, but it still has that element of juicy pear. So that one's really nice too, but I just got a sample of that in my last order. And it's kind of make me wonder if I'm actually a peach girl, even though I thought I wasn't. So yeah, so that was my long random rant about pear and petals. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the Hawaiian Banana fragrance, which is their inspiration of Maui in a Bottle Sweet Banana. And as you can see, mine is super dark, and I have this little bottle because sometimes, like I said, I live in Hawaii, so sometimes I feel like this can get really rich, and while it is, I feel like, made for summer, I feel like it can get really hot and syrupy on my skin because it's like really hot right now, as it is in most places. It's summer, so that makes sense. But all that to say, I am familiar enough with this fragrance as I have a, I know it's a small bottle, so who am I? But I have a pretty good dent, and I feel like I've gotten pretty familiar with this, especially right before the mashups I was using, which I'll explain the mashups in a second, but I was using this to make a bunch of my own mixes to test what I wanted in my mashup. And so I was using that a lot, got really familiar with it. And I feel like their recreation of this is, ooh, really good. You know what? That even surprised me because I feel like when I first sprayed it earlier, I didn't get the full range of this. Oh, but that is crazy. So it opens up with banana, pear, and coconut, and jasmine flower in the mid, and sandalwood and vanilla in the base. And this smell is so yummy, but what it specifically reminds me of is, you know, when you maybe have a mostly green but almost yellow banana, you can tell you could eat it right now, but maybe you could wait a little longer and be just right, but it's just before that point of being just right. And when you are like peeling the skin, it's a little hard to peel, and you kind of have to like really rip the banana peel. That like fresh, slightly green banana smell, still sweet, but has that little bit of tartness, which probably is coming from the pear mixed with the banana. That's like what I'm getting right in the opening. Oh, but that's so good. My mashups, which I'll see if I can show them to you. Sorry, I have a whole shelf. But up here, ooh, I have all my mashups from this last round, and their mashups are where they give like a range of fragrances, like full formed fragrances that you can layer onto each other, or mix with each other, I should say, up to about 4 fragrances. And they also have individual notes, which would be like vanilla. They had this time sugared raspberry, banana, pear, like individual notes, and I think up to 4 different elements you can mix. So I used Hawaiian Banana in a bunch of my mashups, and actually my most favorite mashup that I made, which like I said, I kind of made them with what I already had to then maybe order a bigger size or know what I wanted to mix together, was what I named Passport Stamp New Zealand, and I got 100 ml. And the reason I named it that is because my husband and I visit very often, and actually I want this to be like my vacation smell. But I mixed Hawaiian Banana with Her Imagination, which I can give more notes on if you guys want, but Tropic Like It's Hot, and Absolute Vanilla. This is a stunning combo, so if you have any of these, you can layer them together or what. Okay, so the next one I'm going to go over is Little Pink Party Dress, which this one came out of the vault, and their vault is rotating fragrances that they obviously store and don't put out all the time, as a vault normally is. And this time they brought out Little Pink Party Dress, which the notes are raspberry, apple, sweet plum, lily, and in the mid, vanilla, marshmallow fluff, and in the base, sandalwood and white musk. And this one is one that I already knew I liked, and I've been waiting to get a bigger size. Oh, I'm gonna run out of space. But this one is so yummy. Oh, sometimes the lids get really tight on these, I will say, but I really like these new bottles. They're really pretty. This one, really, when it opens, sorry, I'm like all the way up my arm, you can really smell the apple and plum, and then that vanilla coming through. This one is so good. I really love their fruity smells. I feel like they do those really well. Especially my favorite fruity fragrance is Confessions of a Perfume Addict. So juicy, so bright, but has such good like vanilla bases that really come through afterwards. So good. But yeah, this one's really, you really smell that, like, I'd say the raspberry, apple, and plum mixed with vanilla. Subtle while being juicy. I feel like it gives me kind of like an air of Yum Bougie marshmallow in the way where you still smell that fruit, but it's bright, but it's softened with the cream. Sorry, I'm talking with my hands a lot. I don't know. I feel like it helps convey the message better. I don't know. But it's kind of similar in that way where although the notes are raspberry and apple, which is what really comes through, that kind of juicy tartness of an apple, a little bit, not too tart, but that kind of smell from an apple that you get, softened by a nice vanilla cream. I feel like it's really good. I also have a previous mashup that I did that was really good because a winning combo, as I guess kind of just alluded to, which is kind of funny. What's it called? I had Little Pink Party Dress mixed with Creamy Strawberry Fluff, Cupid Cakes, and Fairy Fluff. But just the combo of Little Pink Party Dress and where's the one I have from them that is Creamy Strawberry Fluff? Oh, I can't find it right now. It's somewhere in that mess of stuff I have. But mixing this and just Creamy Strawberry Fluff, which is their Yum Bougie marshmallow recreation, or even just actual Yum Bougie marshmallow, something about this gives it, like that combo just gives it enough of a tartness to the sweetness that Yum Bougie marshmallow provides. And it is just a winning combo. So if, say, you're somebody watching this, if you've even made it this far and you're somebody who really likes MBK and you have probably a whole collection, try those two together if you have them. They're so good. Next, I will be looking into and smelling the Double the Vanilla fragrance, which, I guess I haven't been doing very good at showing you all the labels. I'm sorry. As I've mentioned like 3 times, I don't do this often. So if you've even made it this far, thank you. But this one I did spray earlier, and this one is delish. I have never smelled the original, which I believe is Vanilla Squared by Mason Tahiti. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm sorry, now I understand why people are always like, I don't know how to say that. Don't come for me. I'm sorry. I've had a long day at work. My brain is not all there. But we're here to have fun and smell fragrances. But anyway, so this one opens with vanilla flower, vanilla in the mid, praline, and then at the base, powdery notes and benzoin. So this one, I can't for the life of me think of what it reminds me, but there's something coming to my mind that's just not fully coming through, but it reminds me of something. But what I will say, just describing it, it is almost like a true vanilla, I want to say vanilla ice cream, but if you added just a thin veil of a powdery element, not super powdery, not grandma powdery, not overwhelming in your face powdery, but just enough that it almost creates, like, if you can visualize it, this haze over the vanilla, just enough. Oh, but it is so good. And it is like a perfect going to bed, nice and cozy. You've had a long day and you're like up in your sheets and it just smells just perfect. Not too much, not heavy. But like a, accurate vanilla extract with just a little overlay of like a powdery element. It is very good. And so I think if you like vanilla in any capacity, I would say it's a safe blind buy. Okay, the next one is Spring Linen, and this one is one of the ones that also came out of the vault. I have not smelled this one, and I did not cheat and smell it earlier. So the notes for this one are, in the top, aquatic notes, pear, grapefruit, marshmallow. So it's going to be pretty crisp and fresh and juicy in the opening, my guess. Middle notes are magnolia and jasmine. I don't know why I'm saying this so weird. It's like I can't read. I'm sorry. The middle notes are magnolia and jasmine, and the base notes are light musk and amber. And I am super excited to smell this. Oh, I brought my paper because I'm running out of arm space. And this is the tissue paper it normally comes with. And I just use this to multi-purpose and use as scent strips. I ordered some, but they are not here yet. So yeah, I've been very, very, very excited to smell this. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I don't know how to... I'm perceiving this in real time, so my notes may not be great. So looking at the notes while I smell, I feel like, the aquatic and marshmallow already... The aquatic notes and the marshmallow notes are really coming through. and then a little bit of that pear and grapefruit kind of providing a little bit of that citrus. I won't say zest, not like actual zest, like when you would like zest a fruit, but a little bit of something to it, you know? Oh, this one is very pretty. This is very, I feel like if you have specific fragrances that you wear maybe when it's raining, or maybe it's more of like a humid day where it's not too gross, but you have more of like this desire to wear like aquatic fragrances or kind of something that would go well with that type of weather, this would be really nice. Because what I'm really getting is some nice water notes. Maybe think a very mild, light version of Aqua de Jo, if that's how you say that. Kind of that watery element, but really subtle. With that, I kind of smell more of the jasmine coming through. Just a touch. So there's that little bit of floral element. And then I smell the amber coming through, kind of giving that almost vanilla warmth. It's not quite vanilla, but that ambery, creamy warmth. Very nice, very clean girl, rainy day, smelling put together, smelling elegant, but not too perfumey, not too over the top. Very nice. Okay, so now we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite fragrances, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, which was the Strawberry Vanilla Lemonade. Is House of Sillage Hufflepuff with extra summer yum. So if you don't know or you're new to the brand, anytime they say extra yum or added yum or extra this and that, it's normally not a specific element that they've added extra to. It's like, say in the fragrance there's a lemon element. If it's extra yum, it could have been added lemon, or it could be added vanilla, something that's in the fragrance that they've amplified or added to. It's not necessarily every time they say yum they've added marshmallow or they've added more vanilla. It could vary based on the fragrance notes that say that, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is a House of Sillage Hufflepuff with extra summer yum. So I believe in this one they added extra strawberry, or the extra yum is like strawberry and vanilla to the kind of lemon pastry DNA that Hufflepuff has. And this is one of the ones that made me a believer in the DNAs that I don't really like. I will say it's not like you can really smell it coming through too much, but it's so good. It is one of my favorites. And in relation to the older version that I tried, they used to use in this one a sugared strawberry. I later found this out because my sniffer just, once I got one of the newer versions, I could tell something was different. Still good, but different. And yeah, I found out in the older versions they used a sugared strawberry. So if you somehow get your hands on one of those, that might be why. If you have a newer one and an older one and they smell different, that's why. But this one is so good. But the added twist in this one is that I added, my little set strip, even though I've already sprayed this all over me earlier, I added an extra note of tangerine and absolute vanilla, which I'll talk about absolute vanilla in a second. But every fragrance from 30 ml, 50, and 100, you can add 2 additional notes, and they have a whole list that kind of changes based on the seasons. And they had tangerine, which is yummy and juicy, and the absolute vanilla, which translates really into like a vanilla ice cream. And I wanted to add that to the House of Sillage Strawberry Vanilla Lemonade element because I wanted to kind of amplify that juiciness. Yeah, the tangerine and absolute vanilla were what I added, and this is so good. The tangerine note really amplifies the juiciness because the strawberry they use is like a sun-ripened strawberry, so it's nice and warm and kind of crisp to add to that like lemonade element. But the tangerine adds that like really juiciness, and the absolute vanilla, once it dries down, gives it like a vanilla ice cream base. That's like the best way I could describe absolute. So the second to last one I will talk about is Absolute Vanilla, which is a mix of Extreme Vanille and Tahota. This is the one I was saying in my just most recent one, was that it smells like a vanilla ice cream. It is the perfect add-in, the perfect layering element, especially if you just like a good vanilla. So perfect. The top notes are sweet vanilla sugar, mid notes are vanilla cream, and the base is Madagascar vanilla bean and skin musk. This one is so good. I want to say this might be my favorite vanilla that they have, because they also have Whisper, Slow Burn Sugar, Cupid cakes, and a few others that I kind of have hiding in my whole plethora of smells. But this one would have to be my favorite, especially if you just like a simple vanilla, not too much going on. Super good. The last thing I have to talk about is some body care, which I got Poetry and Peach. As I showed you earlier, I got the Blue Hawaiian shower scrub. And the last thing I got, which I also had some oils in my order that didn't come, and I got that resolved with customer service, but the one that did show up of the set was Breakfast Baddie. And Breakfast Baddie is essentially Fruit Loops and a little added marshmallow, I believe. And this one is really good. I also already have the fragrance that came in like a previous order, and both myself and my sons like to use this. They love their little Fruit Loop smell, but it's a very, very fun one, very nostalgic and reminiscent of Fruit Loops, with a little bit, to me, emphasis on the lemon sugar. It's not like a cleaner lemon, but it is a nice sugary lemon. You can definitely, I would say, almost taste it when you smell it. It is so good. And then as it smells, as it dries down on the skin, I should say, it wears into a nice warm creamy element of that, so the marshmallow really comes through, but there's still the little lingering cloud of lemon sugar, not so strong anymore, not so upfront, and it is so yummy. So I realized I had filmed the review of Tropic Like It's Hot and it disappeared on my computer, so I am just gonna give a quick overview because it saved me from posting a whole section of yapping. But Tropic Like It's Hot is one of my favorites. It is a dupe of Miami Nectar, or I should say their recreation of Miami Nectar by Ellis Brooklyn. I feel like the summer floral and like oceanic elements really come through in this one, but the woody masculine notes don't really come through. So I feel like if the original For You pulls really masculine and that's like something you don't like, I feel like this one and their recreation of it would be something you'd like more if you like pretty much everything else about that fragrance, like the fruitiness and the kind of little element of florals. It would be something you really like. And it kind of reminds me of some, like a tropical Skittle. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like the tropical bag of Skittles subtly comes through in this. Not a lot, not too sweet, not too sugary, but if you smell this, I feel like you can see it, but it wouldn't be like the first thing you thought. Okay, if you're even watching this to the end, thank you for bearing with me. This is like my first ever actual review video, so thank you for listening to all the rambling, and hopefully these reviews were a little helpful. And if you guys want to see anything else in regards to MBK, or maybe any of my opinions on any other fragrances, I'm happy to oblige and make another video because this is so fun. And as you can see, I have a bunch of MBK to review, to give you notes on. If you want, I could also make a video about my mashups, giving reviews, and what I named things, and my favorite maybe combos, my top 10, top 5, whatever MBK fragrances. And yeah, feel free to leave any ideas in the comments if anyone wants to comment. That would be fun. And yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good day or a good night wherever you're at, and I hope you have fun and smell good. Bye.